stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. Get your lick back. If a nigga owe you something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back.
I feel like I'm JX.
J-Way.
I'm a perfectionist. Adderall got me restless.
I'm gone.
Run with a wild crew, they get reckless. Young boy, come up off that neck.
Give me that.
Into the trends. See a lead, be the band.
Welcome to Bleachers and Speakers. I'm your host, June. I got my co-host, B. Foster, in the building, and we have a pregame show for you today. The Lions face the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. But before we get into that, I want to remind everyone to subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube and follow us on the podcast aggregators. That all you have to do is type in Bleachers to Speakers FFSN in that search. Make sure that notification bell is on. Make sure you're following us so whenever we drop content, you'll get an alert and download those episodes. It don't take a lot of space. You can delete the old ones. Please download those episodes. Foster, it's game day, man. And it's a 1:00 game day. I'm happy.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we are starting game 11 at 1:00, and I'm a sucker for Facebook, Detroit Lions Facebook groups. I'm a sucker for Facebook talk about the Lions, and I've been reading a lot of stuff, Foster. I've been hearing stuff like this will be a tough game. I do not expect any game to be easy, but they're saying this is going to be a tough game. Now, I don't know much about the Colts, Foster. Maybe you can enlighten me. What are the Colts? What danger does the Colts pose on the Detroit Lions?
Well, this is a team that had a bit of QB controversy early in the year, where Anthony Richardson lost his starting job, and they played a couple games with old man Flacco, but
Right.
he has retained his position as a starting quarterback, and he's coming off a strong game against the New York Jets, who have a pretty solid defense themselves. And yeah, he's a dual threat quarterback. He had 2 rushing touchdowns, had 1 passing touchdown. And he threw pretty efficiently. He had 20 completions out of 30 and 272 yards. And this is a team that the offensive statistics don't really reflect the talent that they have. They have a nice group of receivers with Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, and Michael Pittman. And they have a pretty good running back, Jonathan Taylor. So.
Yeah.
I would. The offense is more of a threat than the defense. What the defense hangs their hat on is taking the ball away via fumble. Not so much as far as interceptions, but they are first in the league in forced fumbles and fumble recoveries, and I think 8 overall. Yes, 8 overall as far as takeaways.
Okay.
So they're another one of those. They're similar. They're similar to us in a way that with the bend but don't break type strategy of taking the ball away. But they really struggle getting off the field on third downs, and that is definitely where the Lions can kind of exploit them offensively. But yeah, they're going to give up some yards as well. So, yeah.
You know what I noticed about the Lions, as far as the offense is concerned? It's very tough on defenses if the Lions start off 2nd and 5 or shorter. That initial first down, if they're getting 4 or 5 yards on first down, that playbook opens up so many ways, and it's like you're cooked. You're cooked as far as defense is concerned. Brandon Blanchard, I am thankful and grateful that you are here. We got a new sub in you. He said, no, new sub and like for you, gents. We appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I think anytime the Lions get off to a good start on first down, uh, on a consistent basis, the defenses are in trouble. Um, as far as taking care of the ball, that's always a must as far as any football team, and I think the Lions have to. When we don't take care of the ball, that's when we have the closer, more competitive games versus us. So, not trying to talk cocky or anything else, but when we take care of the ball, we're pretty tough to beat. So,
Yeah, I mean, when you got a creative mind, creative genius like a Ben Johnson, when you can start the second down, um, in short yardage, with short yardage, it just opens up a playbook even more than it already was to begin with, and it just puts the defense on their heels, and they just don't know. They just don't know what to expect. Are they gonna run? Run the ball on us again? Are they going to utilize play action? Are they going to hook and ladder? Are they, there's so many different things that the offense can do when we set the tone early on in that down, 5-6 yards.
yeah. Sidebar, man, your boy got in trouble. He didn't get suspended this week, but he got a fine.
Yeah, Jameson Williams. I mean, we are. If you remember Beast Mode, aka Marshawn Lynch, then you remember the classic celebration
Yeah.
that he had, and Jameson Williams has got to understand that there's a target on his. I don't say there's a target on that, but he's
The
being.
cameras are on him.
The
They're
cameras
paying
are on,
attention.
and they're watching his every move, and he just has to. Be aware of that, and continue to score touchdowns. You got some rich players in your team that should be able to hold you down on the fine tip if it's hitting your pockets too hard. But gotta be aware of who you are and how the league feels about you. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, they fined him for that dunk too that time. So it was like,
Oh
it's
yeah, you
like,
can't. Well, yeah. I mean, that's a rule. You can't touch the goalpost anymore. They probably was costing the maintenance people money. Because a 200-pound man, slamming on that. That's probably not it's probably not good for the infrastructure.
Brandon Blanchard said, hopefully golf has a target on his back also. I don't know what that means. But if it's meant in a bad way, I hope not. But
Yeah.
hey. Yeah, it's just JMO he's this year, I think this year is one of those years where he can learn a lot from as far as discipline, as far as everything. So hopefully he's he's actually he's actually learning from these experiences, right? Because after so long, you're gonna get tired of them in your pockets. And there's a lot of and there's nothing wrong with scoring, doing a little celebration, and then getting to the sideline and then celebrate how you want. There's nothing wrong with that. So, but everybody celebrates. It's just crazy. It's just crazy the things they do now. It's like they get away with a lot as far as celebrate.
Yeah,
But
there's a
certain
period of time where they kind of made it to where you had to do it as a team and not so much an individual thing. But it has gotten lenient over the years. But it's pretty obvious that JMO will not have the same
no.
grace that others will.
No, no. And I feel like if he runs 22 miles per hour, he'll be drug tested the next game. So gotta be gotta be careful. There's some things that's going on as far as defense. We're missing a couple of players, Foster. Um, what's the injury look like for the defense? 'Cause
All right.
I think we're relatively healthy off on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, there's we don't have any injuries. I mean, Sam Laporta and Shane Zylstra are on injury report with minor injuries. Shane Gilster is like his neck. All that's about. And Sam Laporta is on there for his shoulder, but they both were full participants in practice the entire week. As far as defense, Carlton Davis is on there with the thumb, but he was a full participant all week. Emmanuel Mosley is questionable with that torn pec. He's obviously making his way back from the IR. Terrion Arnold is out with a groin injury, and Ennis Reckestraw is out with a pulled hamstring. That is what we have as far as short-term, more minor injuries, and of course, we have quite a few guys on the IR, especially in the on the linebacking core. Ife Melifonwu was also put back on the IR, and David Long Jr. has been elevated from the practice squad. So we might get our first look at him this week.
That was fast to be elevated from the practice. Usually, you go to the practice squad, you there for three or 4 weeks before being elevated, but that was fast. And I'm hoping it's one of those cases where he gets to the practice squad and he's going crazy, and they say, "Oh, well, hold on, we can move you right along. We don't have to depend on you, but you definitely belong on the regular roster." So,
yeah, I mean, I feel like some of that is kind of reactive to the fact that they had an unexpected injury with Terrion Arnold. I think that gave us an opportunity with some available roster spots open. Because obviously, we didn't lose any linebackers this week, but we certainly had some pretty big roster openings available. So we will see. But I do feel like a starting corner and a rotational corner being out will play some factor in today's game, especially with a team like Indianapolis, who has the potential to be explosive in the run game as well as the pass.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll talk more lines on the other side. If you're watching, we'll be back in like 10 seconds. If you're listening, you're going to hear some wonderful ads. Yeah, man. Lions play the Colts, and we're at the Colts. What's the Colts record, Foster? Do you have that information handy?
They are 5-6 and second in their division.
Okay. What was the record? I'm sorry.
5-6.
5-6. Okay, and they're second in that. That's who all in that division?
Houston is first in their division.
Okay. So,
Jacksonville and Tennessee as well.
Yeah. The running back scares me for the Colts. He can take it the distance, and he's a tough runner. So I think the key defensively is stopping that run. We have to stop that run first and be able to stop the run. If they can run the ball effectively, they can be trouble. We was talking about injuries, corners. We're looking kind of thin at defensive back. You have any information for the people for that?
So let's look at the. Obviously, Carlton Davis is going to have to play.
One hand, Tommy.
Yeah, one hand and all. He's going to have to get out there because we can't be down two outside corners. And then obviously we're trying to gradually bring Emmanuel Mosley back, who questionable normally. You definitely you normally think that they'll probably play, but with him coming up the IR, they may be cautious. But we will certainly get to see Amik Robertson. You should see a lot of him. I mean, he's pretty active and normally in the mix of things,
right?
Defensively. But in addition to that, Kendall Vildor is another guy who we saw. I feel like, well, I want to say Reckestraw was out last week, so I want to say we saw a decent amount of Vildor last week as well, and obviously
Yes.
he has some experience playing on the outside because he was our second, you know, our
That
one
is
A
true.
1B last year.
Yes.
So it's nice that he's not the primary every week focal point guy, but
Mhm.
it's nice to have a guy that has experience that's been there in those type of situations that can step in for a game or two, but we certainly don't plan to see him late in the year.
I like Terrion Arnold, and I'm not by any means talking down on him, but I don't think you miss much if you put a Vildor or a Robinson in his place if need be for like for a game or so. I think the experience there will help them get through a game just as much and fare just as well as Arnold would during a game like this.
I mean, I like Arnold's his physicality, his size. Those are things that nobody else on the team can match. I mean, Vildor's not that big of a guy.
Right.
Um, Amik Robertson's definitely not that big of a guy.
No.
So I do like him in matchups against bigger, more physical receivers. But certainly in a pinch, and of course we have guys like Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph back there that can kind
Mhm.
of alleviate some of the pressure in the over the top pass game. So I think that'll make things easier and make the adjustment better.
Yeah, I mean, certainly having those 2 safeties on your team, make being a corner a little bit easier. You're still on the island per se, but at the same time, if you bracket a deep threat with Kirby, you're feeling a little bit more comfortable playing cornerback for the Detroit Lions. I mean,
Yeah,
no matter,
yeah, I'm
go ahead.
certainly thinking twice going over the top, knowing that those guys. I mean, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch are literally competing against each other in a sense. Not literally, but like, I mean, when they look at the PFF ratings and passer ratings when thrown at, they really want to be the top guy amongst the two of them, and it makes for I mean, it makes for quite the no-fly zone back there.
Yeah, yeah, and then you see Branch, if they throwing, like, the little intermediate passes and he's in the area, I know they're on alert because the shoulder pads is on the way.
No doubt
Like,
about it.
he's smacking receivers. Like, it's crazy. Like, I would definitely in the back of my mind be like, "Okay, when I catch this, I better get to the dirt because
ASAP.
he's somewhere. He's in the vicinity. He's in the vicinity." So, yeah, is that let's see. We all know about the injuries though, as far as the ones that happened prior to this week. We're missing Anzalone. Any word on Barnes? Will he be back this season?
I want to say that he put a statement out not too long ago saying that there's still an outside chance that he can return this year. But
Okay.
obviously, yeah, things have been quiet on that front uh, lately. Because I mean, at this point, I mean, I don't even remember when it. I don't. Even, oh, week 3 is when it actually occurred.
Yeah.
So um, I don't know. I'm not holding my breath on him, but if we think that we could possibly get Hutch back, I want to say that there's got to be some opportunity for Barnes.
You would
And
think.
yeah, I mean, it's really crazy to think that we could throw out a lineup of Barnes, David Long, and Anzalone, just knowing that guys like Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez, Jalen Reeves, Maymon. I mean, that's a pretty deep linebacker when you really think about it.
Yeah, and I think this week you'll see more Zadarius Smith uh, getting more plays in. Last week, he was strictly in for passing situations, and I think he'll get more reps. I think they're bringing, they're kind of like slow cooking when it comes to Mr. Smith on the edge. They're just like gradually bringing him along. And I think he'll have a heavier workload this week than he did last week, which is good, Um, how do the Lions win this game for us?
I think that we definitely want to control the line of scrimmage that's always a key for us. But I think we really want to keep this team off the field because they do pose a threat in certain ways. Certainly the dual threat ability of an Anthony Richardson and the fact that he can get the ball down the field, and they have some nice they have some nice weapons. Alec Pierce is number one in the league with the most yards per reception at over 20 yards. And the second place guy in that category is Jamison Williams. So that should give you an idea of how about how well he can stretch the field. I mean, guys like Flacco have characteristic of having a nice deep ball, and Richardson is of that same cloth as well. But yeah, controlling the line of scrimmage, and they do have a couple guys that can get after the quarterback. I mean, they rank only 18th as far as sacks, but they got guys like DeForest Buckner, Latu, who we know a lot about, and they're leading.
Yeah.
We
were wishing.
That was a guy we liked,
Yeah.
and a guy that I had never really heard of. But their leading sack getter is a guy named Kwity Paye with 5.5 sacks.
Wait, hold on. Stop. You never heard of Kwity Paye?
I actually have not. Never.
Michigan Wolverine.
Well, maybe that's why.
He played on a lot of the failing teams there.
Did he? Okay. I mean,
they were winning, but they were like going 9-3, 8-4, 10-2.
And you call that failing? That's the funny part.
I mean, they would get embarrassed by Ohio State. Ohio State was scoring like 70 points against them at defense.
Right.
So yeah, they played good until those big games. So Kwity Paye was actually his senior year. He was actually a recruit that didn't get a lot of people going after him, but when he got to Michigan, he really turned the page. His senior year, he was hurt most of the time, or his last final. I don't know if that was a senior, but his final year, he was hurt a lot.
Did he play with Hutch?
Yeah, Hutch was there.
Okay.
At one point. He was gone before Hutch, of course, but they were there at the same time.
Okay.
They played.
Yeah, I didn't. It was crazy. It's crazy because I looked up. Well, I just took a quick glance at his statistics this year, but I didn't even pay attention to the school. But yeah,
he was drafted. He was drafted in that first round. They had really high hopes for him, and he's starting to. He's starting to play. So I think injuries got the best of him in his NFL career early. I remember him getting hurt early and missing some games, and that's what happened when his last year here at Michigan. He got hurt and he didn't play that much, but he was already solidified as far as one of them guys that was going to make it to the next level. So, yeah, Kwity Paye is a good player. I think when it comes to the Lions offense, if they can keep their offense off the field, sustain drives, and I think it's very imperative that Montgomery gets going early and Gibbs gets his touches and has some good runs. I think if those things happen, I think it's a win. I think it's a win, and I do believe it's going to be a win.
Yeah. They said that something like 30% of Montgomery's rushes have resulted in either a touchdown or a first down, which is kind of insane because we're talking about one of three rushes resulted in some positive way. But yeah, this is a team that for whatever reason forces a lot of fumbles. I don't know if these are off of strip sacks or if they just really are keen on punching out the ball. But knock on wood, don't want to jinx us.
Yeah.
That's something that we really don't worry. That's something that we really don't deal with too much.
But you're starting to see more teams now, more defensive players, more than ever, punching the ball out. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Literally balling their fists and
yeah, and swinging and I'm like, "What if you miss? Like, what if you punch them? That's a penalty, right?"
Mm, not really.
It's
Not
not?
really.
You don't think it'll be you don't think they'll call it?
Nah, I
You
mean,
like
I
swing
think
your
guys
fist
get punched. I think guys get punched all the time. I mean, you
I
see
never
these
paid
guys.
attention to it. I never
Huh?
paid attention. It's gonna be interesting to see if that
Yeah.
ever
I
happens.
mean, you got to really pay attention because, of course, a lot of times this is within the scrum of like 2, 3 people. So
And he
a
really
lot
can't see it.
you really can't see it, but trust me, they feel it. When
And you know what? They probably don't show it unless they actually punch the ball out. There probably have been some misses that if nothing happens, they don't go back and review it.
right. I mean, they are padded, so I mean, you punch a guy's helmet, you punch a guy's, it's probably gonna hurt you more than anything to do that. Um,
I think if
but
you
yeah,
punch somebody in the helmet, though, they're gonna call that because it's a helmet hit. But if you like, let's say you swing and hit somebody's arm,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That I don't think that I don't think they too much gonna pay attention to that. But
no, no. I mean, I don't think a punch in the arm would be very effective in a tackle, anyways, unless you got a hold of them
I
already.
mean, I'm saying, let's say they're attempting to punch the ball out, but they miss, or sometimes somebody move at the last minute, you're not gonna get the ball, your intended target.
You're gonna get whatever,
Yeah.
yeah.
It just I don't know, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, hopefully, we don't see nothing like that today. Uh,
No, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Yeah. We don't want to speak it up, but
no, no, no. As far as the Colts and Anthony Richardson, are you concerned about Anthony Richardson at all? There's one concern I have for him. There's two actually. Him actually, we usually have problems with quarterback with their feet,
mhm.
and then the deep pass. He's very, very accurate throwing the ball deep. Like, it's just amazing. It's night and day between his intermediate accuracy compared to his deep ball accuracy. So those are the two things that worry me: the deep threats and uh, just be able to make plays with his feet. I do feel a little bit better because Kirby's back there, but at the same time, whew, I've seen him make those deep passes and they're on the money. And I don't like running quarterbacks. They pose such a problem for every team that I like ever.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
um, how do you feel about Anthony Richardson now that that stuff is over with the timeout and stuff? Like, or not timeout, but taking himself out the game. Do you feel any kind of way that he did that? Is it a lingering feeling? What's your perception of it?
I mean, I think that he received a lot of backlash, and I think he took heed to to how that came off. And I think that moving forward, he will keep information like that to himself. If in fact he feels the need to utilize that,
He'll never come forward and say that. He'll
yeah,
never
which
say it.
yeah, I think he should. Some things are better to go unsaid, and I think he understands that. If he wants to utilize if he wants to, by all means, take yourself out of the game if you need be. We will take our chances with the backup for a player too. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see um, how that plays out today. So yeah, gotta limit the big plays out there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Do we have our second break already? Not,
No, I think
don't
we just had one.
Okay, I'm not sure, man. You have to be on your breaks because FFSN don't play. Didn't they threaten us not to pay us if they?
Which is why we should embrace the ads as much as they do because
Yeah,
it does help us. That's important.
for sure, for sure. It's like but we was doing like those little 10-minute clips, and we was like, not putting 8 ads in a 10-minute clip, and I was like, because at first they said do 6, right? And then they upped it to 8, and I was like, I ain't gonna do it. They play 4 at the very beginning. Why would I do that on a 7-minute video? And they said, you look, you don't do it.
It doesn't even count. It's as if the video didn't even happen. I was like, oh.
That makes me. I'm. You know, if you see a lot of drops, if you're listening, if you see a lot of drops, new drops, I'm going in today and I'm going to fix all of those without 8 ads. They're going on there, and what they're going to do is they're going to re-upload those as new drops. So be prepared, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to get some notices if you're following, which you should be, right?
Which you very well should be.
We got to figure out when we're going to do a pissing show too, Foster.
I was thinking about that today.
We'll whenever you're ready, we'll definitely do that. I think and we also can't forget it's a short turnaround. We have a game today, Lions game, and a game on Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. And I think that game starts at noon, I believe. Usually that game starts at noon Eastern time, not just, I think that's a noon game here for us.
Yeah.
So we definitely got a short week. The biggest thing is to be injury free heading into this game versus Chicago. And no matter what happens with Chicago versus Minnesota, whether Chicago wins or loses, they're going to be really, really hungry Thursday. Like, if they lose today, it's going to be a must win for them Thursday. If they win today, that momentum, they're going to bring that momentum over because they have a chance to be close to 500 come Thursday. So this is one of those games where win today, if possible, but more than likely, more than anything, come out the game relatively healthy. You have a short rest. Be ready Thursday, because we know how Thanksgiving games have done for us as Lions fans. I hate to keep saying that, but this would be great if the Lions can win today and win on Turkey Day. That would be dope. That'd be a sign. This is the year. We lost last year on Thanksgiving, right? To the Bears, right?
Packers.
The Packers.
Jordan Love went crazy on us.
Yeah.
And we stole a game against the Bears the week before. So that was a
comeback game versus the Bears the week before. And then because it looked like we should have lost that game, and then we come back and play the Packers.
And then the Bears dog walked us.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Mile marker 301. MCDC ain't won on T-Day yet. Oh, man.
Or Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah. That's an alarm. So this got to be the year, right? This is what, year 4?
We win every game this year, so.
I mean, except for Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
We got to start doing a show on the rest of the league, though, Foster. Well, I mean, just, sneak a show in. We said last week we were going to start doing, like, we do cover the Lions, and we make sure we talk about every game preview, and we do a review after the game. So we'll be airing right after today's game, talking about what happened today. And then we also do an NFC North show with our NFC North counterparts. They have representatives from the Chicago Bears. They have representative from Minnesota Vikings. That would be my boy Pay and my boy Dave. We do not have a Green Bay representative. So if you're interested in blogging on Green Bay, and God bless your pitiful soul if you do, if you're a fan of Green Bay, God bless you.
See, that's why we can't get one.
I mean, I'm still going to say either way, if you want to do any kind of blogging, we can just holler at me and Foster. We'll tell you how everything is set up, and then you can join the show with us on Wednesdays, and we all talk. And I'm gonna tell you, it's more like a mild-mannered room. It's not a lot of trash talk that goes on between all of us. There's little jabs here and there, but we talk about the NFC North as a whole. and we talk about our teams, what's going on. Everybody has a turn to talk about what happened the week before, what's going on with their roster, what's going on, the outlook of the team, and this, that, and other. And there's some slight jabs going on, but it's not a lot of trash talk. It's a lot of football talk. And like I said, me and Foster have gained some good associates with Pay and Dave. Like, this is what, year 2 with them, right?
Yeah, second season.
And we haven't missed a week having a show with them. I mean, there might be an instance where I miss the show, but Foster's there. There's a Detroit Lions representative there on the show, or vice versa. If Foster's not there, I'm there. But we've been doing this thing 2 years strong. I can't believe this is our second season of blogging on the Lions and the Pistons, respectively. It's just amazing. And the thing is, I don't know about you, Foster. I'm not tired. I want to keep, I want to keep doing the shows. They're fun. They're therapeutic. And the Lions are a good team to watch nowadays. It's a fun team to watch. Mile Markers 301 says, try cerebral palsy gamer. He Green Bay and he be up for it. Well, I'll ask him. We'll look for him. Is that his name on Facebook or Instagram or something like that?
Might be his streamer.
We'll figure it out. And it would be more ideal to find somebody already blogging on them. Right. You know what I'm saying? That means they're set up. It's YouTube. Gotcha. He's on YouTube. I will check him out. I'll reach out to him. And even if he just wants to join the show, he's already set up. So it would be more ideal. But if you wanted to do Lions blogging, holla at us. I will show you how to get connected. If you wanted to join us or do a show on your own, on our channel, that's dope too. There's a lot of stuff going on with Bleachers and Speakers YouTube. Me and Foster cover the Pistons. Foster and Coach covers the Detroit Tigers. Foster does these wonderful player profile features on there, and they're dope. I think he did one this morning. It was on baseball. Sure. Foster does the player profiles on basketball and football, and they're up on the YouTube channel. They're also on all the Bleachers and Speakers and post game podcasts on your post and on your podcast aggregator channel. So you can find all that stuff. Foster does a masterful job going over those prospects and stuff like that. And if we get a new person on the Lions, Foster's doing a feature profile on. He just did one on David Long Jr. Right, and that's going pretty good on YouTube. It is. The views are very good. So check us out. Make sure that you're subscribing on Bleachers to Speakers on the YouTube, and make sure you're following us on the podcast aggregators as well. And you'll be able to see all of that stuff. If you missed, we've been doing this thing for 2 years, so there's feature profiles you can check out. Foster is on it. So, and I'm going to beg Foster to continue to do these things. I know it's a lot of work on him. I know he has a full schedule. He does what he does. He travels the world. And he works. He says he works. Never seen him punch a clock before. He lives this luxurious life. He's all over the country. He's blogging. So when he takes time out to do these feature profiles, I am appreciative of it. I did one, and it was like, this is too much. I can't do this. I can't do this. And mine wasn't anywhere as good as Foster's, but hey, I think who was mine on? Zadarius Smith?
Yeah.
Mine wasn't as good as Foster. I tried.
That's the only one you ever did?
That's the only one I ever did. You know what? I'm going to do another one this week. I'm going to do another one. I'm not good as Foster doing it. So. You're going to have to excuse me, but we need the content. We're trying to get these subscribers right.
Almost 200, 196 right now.
We've been asking for subscribers to get to 200 for 3 months, bro.
It's crazy.
Crazy, right?
YouTube is a grind.
Yeah, YouTube is a grind, man, and we're not trying to, we're not paying for subscribers or anything like that. We're just trying to get the channel to be what it is organically. So subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube. That's all you got to do. If you're listening and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Like, you get to see us. Share it, like it. And if you are subscribed and you watch it, share, like, comment. Do that on the YouTube. That keeps us in the algorithm. I done got away from talking from Lions football though. I guess there's not much more to say, right?
Nah, yeah. Extend drives. They're 27th in the league. On
Wait a
third
minute,
down.
hold on, Foster. Is this you putting a bow on it?
I guess this is a little bit of a bow. I've kind of
Go ahead and put a bow on it, Foster.
All right, protect the football. They are number one in forced fumbles. They have yet another Syracuse alum in Zaire Franklin, who is the focal point of their defense. He's got over 100 combined tackles already this year, and he's definitely a guy that's going to try to turn the ball over via forced fumble. But yeah, extend drives, keep Anthony Richardson off the field, and limit the big plays. Because Alec Pierce is number one in the league in yards per reception, and we just can't have that. We just can't have that today. Terrion Arnold is out. A lot of you are unappreciative to what he has brought to the team this year, but this will be your opportunity to see what it's like without him.
Yeah.
And
be careful what you wish for.
Right, but it's gonna be popping in Indy. There's gonna be a ton of Lions fans. I've been seeing posts all over the place. A lot of blue. It's gonna be a lot of blue in general in that stadium, but it's gonna be a lot of Honolulu blue for sure. So a little home away from home game for Detroit. But I'm excited. It's going to be a good game. Hopefully MSU Detroit fan Emmanuel Mosley finally playing. I hope so, but I'm nervous. I'm nervous for him. I went to the game last year against the Carolina Panthers.
You jinxed this.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous for him. Look at Joan back there flexing the laptop. I just peeped. I think it's a laptop.
That's been like that though.
I know, but I never really paid attention to it.
That's the DJ setup over there. You know what I'm saying?
Got Funkmaster Flex over here. But.
Hey, MSU Detroit fan says with both Terrion Arnold and Enos Rickenstraw both out, I wouldn't mind seeing Mosley, mostly because Vildor sucks.
Wow.
That's a tough take on Vildor. But hey, let me ask you, MSU Detroit fan, do you feel like Vildor's a lot far off, or there's a precipitous drop between Arnold and Vildor? I don't think so. I don't think it's pretty precipitous.
You don't think so?
No, I'll take. I mean, Arnold is good, but I mean, Arnold is who you want out there, but I don't think it's just a disaster because Vildor is out there on the other side versus the Colts.
I don't think it's a disaster. It looks like his PFF rating is 61. That's actually not horrible. I just think that obviously he's hit his ceiling, whereas
it's a step down. But what do?
Maybe
it's not. You're not replacing Arnold because it's his play. He's just unavailable.
Why you have Actually, what did I say was the PFF rating for Vildor? I don't know, but
61.
Oh yeah. So Arnold's is 52. And obviously a lot bigger sample size for what it's worth.
It's a bigger sample size. He's played more. That's kind of unfair.
It's pretty unfair. But that's why Aaron Glenn is here. He's a guy that often gets overlooked when it's time to give out credit. But when the defense was bad, he was reigned. They were calling for his job. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, that's why he's here to make adjustments, and he's made adjustments all year. The offense has been relatively healthy all year, and it's been the defense that's had to overcome all of the adversity. So, Aaron Glenn, giving you your flowers.
I mean, you remember when they was like calling for Aaron Glenn's job? Like,
Yeah, that was last year, probably around this time, maybe a little bit before that. So
yeah. It
and
wasn't until if he got in there and started making plays where it was like, oh, this guy's a genius now, right?
funny how that works.
Mile Marker 301 says, figure CD3 will be doing the reading for whoever is rotated in. We'll see. MSU Detroit fan says, Vildor playing is not a complete panic mode since Carlton Davis and Amik Robertson are still playing, and of course, Kirby and Branch. That's pretty much what I'm saying there, MSU Detroit fan. That's pretty much what I'm saying. I mean, it's like, if you're talking about replacing Arnold because of his play for Vildor, then I'd be like, no. But you just have a situation where Arnold's not healthy and not playing, and you have to put Vildor in, and then you have the other guys. So I don't think. Are we sure that Vildor is the one that's going to start on the other side, or?
No, I think it'll more than likely be Amik Robertson that gets the outside, gets the nod as far as the outside is concerned. But we'll certainly see more of him because, yeah, it's either Vildor. Who else do we have?
I forgot the other guy. He returns the kickoffs. That's the other guy that played last year.
Oh, geez, what's his name?
We did a player profile. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves. We ought to be ashamed of ourselves.
He wasn't on the depth chart though. That's the thing.
So it's not our fault. I'll take that, Foster. It's not our fault. Next man up, not Raymond. It's not Raymond. The 301. It's the one that returns kickoffs. I forgot his name.
Dorsey.
Oh, Dorsey.
Dorsey.
Yeah. He played a lot of corner last year when we didn't have a choice, right?
Not by
it wasn't
not by luxury.
It wasn't like, oh, let's get Dorsey in there. No, no. I mean, he did what he
crap Dorsey.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, like, this is why they did all the things they had to do as far as the drafting 2 corners, signing Emmanuel Mosley, re-signing Emmanuel Mosley, picking up Amik Robertson, picking up Carlton Davis. This is why you do what you do.
A lot,
yeah. I mean, I've said it before. I never agree with Brad Holmes on draft day. And when he drafted Enos Rakestraw on the second pick, I'm like, what are you doing?
I mean, yeah. As bad as our secondary was, I just couldn't front on him.
Well, look at the numbers, Foss. It's like he drafted 2 cornerbacks with his first 2 picks. And we're still thin at cornerback at this point.
Yeah.
He did the right thing.
Yeah.
We're still thin. So it is what it is. I want to remind everybody before we get out of here, please subscribe to Bleachers to Speakers on YouTube and make sure you're following us on all the podcast aggregators. Make sure that notification bell is on. Make sure you download those episodes. Foster, you've already put a bow on it. We're going to get out of here, Foster. We will be back around 4:00 when the game is over, and we're either going to be fussing or celebrating, one of the two. Either way, me and Foster probably have a few drinks and be buzzing at that time. So buckle up.
Maybe.
Subscribe to Bleachers Speakers on YouTube. Oh, wow. Really?
Get your lick back. If a nigga do something, ain't no chit chat. Better stay up out the way, don't get your shit splat. Stop, let this shit slide and get your lick back. And get your lick back. Get your